Okay, Jesse, we'll start with team news and then we'll go to Sky, please.
So Luke and Junior are really looking strong and getting better every day, but not ready for Chelsea. We'll see. I'd say maybe both a week or two away, looking better and better. Coops has been on the pitch. I think him and then Pat as well, but they're a little bit day to day, so we'll have to see how that factors in for Chelsea. And then Joffrey's back in training and ready to go. Stewart's still along with his injury. Yeah, I think that accounts for everyone.
Fantastic. Hi, Jesse. I from Sky.
Hi.
I'll start with Patrick Bamford. I mean, how late in the day will you make a decision on Patrick before the Chelsea game?
Yeah, I would say it's probably a decision that we'll be ready to make tomorrow. We know we can't risk him, and that we don't want him to pick up further injury. But he's feeling good. He's looking good. So let's see how that one goes.
Was taking him off at a weekend at
Yeah.
St Mary's a precaution, or is there something more serious?
No, it was a precaution, and then it's just again being precautionary. With him in general, we know after having almost missed an entire season that we just have to be really intelligent with how we manage everything. So we'll be prepared if he's ready to go, and if he's not.
Fantastic. And the end of that game at St Mary's, obviously you were in the lead and drew the match in the end.
Yeah.
Did that highlight to you the areas in the squad where you need to strengthen?
No, I think it highlighted, first that, our subbing strategy and maybe needing to act quicker and what we needed at the moment. I certainly looked back and thought I could have acted quicker and maybe brought some different legs on and fresher legs. And then, I thought that the tactical changes that we tried to make were good, but then we allowed them to beat us in the ways that exactly we didn't want to get beat. Managing the game the right way. And so we talked about not going into protection mode, remaining aggressive. Like we felt like we got the lead because we were very aggressive in our pressing and our counter-pressing and our ball movement. We stopped playing. Like I said, one of the things I said to the team is we had 38 build-ups before the 2-0 lead. And after the 2-0 lead, we only had 2. So, it's about aggression with and against the ball, and then it's about managing the game in the right way, the way we want it to be. So, yeah, there's lessons to be learned. We haven't had a lot of those situations since I've been here. But we'll learn from it and we'll get better.
We're entering the final days of the transfer window. Our colleagues in Sky Italy are reporting that you've put in a bid for Willy Gnonto from FC Zurich. Is there anything you can tell us about kind of business you're looking to do?
We know him, and I think we think very highly of him. He's a young, talented player. I think we're very active in pursuing things, and we have some strategies. And let's see how they play out. We still have time, and I think that there will be movement. With us and with other teams. I think some dominoes will start to fall, and then we have to be prepared to act on those situations. So, it's a long time since we've made our last transfer, but I can tell you that the conversations and the work behind the scenes has been very, very active.
And looking ahead to Chelsea, I'm sure you'd have seen the clash on the touchline between Thomas Tuchel and Antonio Conte. Are you looking forward to a friendly handshake before and after the game with Thomas Tuchel?
No, he won't be there, right?
We're still waiting to find out for sure.
Are they saying he might be able to be on the bench?
I think it's still TBC. But
that doesn't seem right, does it? I mean, if you get a red card, you're out of match. I would be disappointed if they allowed him to be on the bench. There's a simple rule in football.
Fantastic.
Whether it's soccer or football, I think if you get a red card, you can't play the next match.
And from a manager's point of view, obviously, the first game you had that slight altercation with Bruno Lage.
Yeah.
Is it obvious that you'll always have those emotions on the touchline?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I even sent an email to Bruno just because I wanted to clear the air after the match. Emotions are always part of the game. But again, I have a lot of respect for Bruno. I have a lot of respect for all the managers in this league. You don't get to this level without having a great career and being very good at what you do. So, and nothing says that more than how the level of preparation it requires for every match. That shows you how sophisticated all the teams are. So, yeah, it's a challenge. Obviously, we all want to win. That's my thing is always to stay calm and stay in the match so that I help our team at all moments. But obviously, the competitive edge that you want your team to present every match is a big part of what helps you be successful. So I don't know, not always good at that, but I try.
We got to Adam ready, Leeds.
Thank you very much.
Jesse, Liam Cooper, are you not ruling him out at this stage? Is it similar to Patrick?
Yeah, I would not rule Liam out. But obviously he's been out for a while, but he's looking strong. Like he was really strong on the pitch today. So, but I think if it's not Sunday, he'll be ready very soon. Same with Patrick.
And Forshaw had a good 45 minutes.
Yeah.
The 21. So is he very much in your plans?
Adam's ready for sure. So is Luis Sinistera, ready for sure. Joffy didn't feature in that match, but he's ready for sure. So we're hopeful to keep pushing fitness levels, and I think we are very fit, and then keep getting healthy so that we have full complementing.
I know there's a 21s game tonight, Aston Villa, Jesse. It's Archie Gray. I think it's a bit of a virus or something. Would he be involved in that?
He's gonna. I don't know if he will start that match, but he will be involved in that match. So will Darko. JB. I learned you pronounce his name JB. JB. So yeah, we're really happy with both those guys. But Archie was in training this week as well.
So you say the dominoes are ready to fall maybe in terms of the transfer market, and we've mentioned the players, Monto there in particular. Does it feel like that £35 million that was committed to go and get to Ketelare is burning a big hole, and you want to spend it, Jesse? Yeah,
I mean, of course, every manager wants as many good players in their team as possible, and I said this already, I think last press conference. Good players make good managers, not the other way around. However, within we've worked really well as a team, and Andrea's tried to support everything that we've tried to accomplish from a transfer perspective, and certainly Victor is working tirelessly with Andrea behind the scenes to achieve some of our goals. So. It's hard I know it's hard for everyone in this moment to stay patient, but the work that's been done already in this transfer window, I think, is at a really high level, and I think we're trying to make sure that we're doing the same due diligence to support everything we're doing here with the team.
And somebody like Monto, would he be Premier League ready in your mind?
No. I mean, he's more. That's why I didn't even know that that's out there, but we know who he is, and this is more with him. It'd be more of a long-term project. And maybe you can then, with that comment, read into whether it's going to happen this transfer window, or if it can happen this transfer window or not, or in the future. I mean, that's one thing with working with Victor is he's incredibly organized in now looking at, what do we need now, what do we need in the winter, what do we need next summer, what do we need 2 years from now, and really looking at how everything pieces together. And I think if you looked at all the teams in the Premier League and which players are locked in for the longest, I think we're maybe, if not at the highest, then we're close to one of the clubs that has more players locked in for longer times. So it gives the manager a chance, I think, to really develop something, and that's what we're hopeful of.
You have done quite a lot of this tidying up the squad as well, and so Kuhn Temendeskov has now left the club according to what we've seen today. What about
who was that? Sorry,
Kuhn Temendeskov.
Okay,
who's not been involved at all.
Okay,
from your point of view.
Okay.
But someone like Ian Paveda, who was injured.
Yeah.
Is he going to go out on loan, Jesse? And Matteo Joseph, would he be another one that you think you'd send out on loan?
With Ian, first of all, it hasn't been easy for him because he hasn't featured really too much with us in preseason, but he's had an incredible mentality and worked really hard every day, and he's a good guy to have around. It's likely that he probably doesn't wind up, we find another solution for him for a loan in this time, but that's not set in stone. But he's been really good with the whole process, and we want him to find a place to play. And Matteo Joseph will stay. He will stay. I think he'll continue to work with the 21s and continue to mature and grow. I had a good video meeting with him yesterday, or 2 days ago now, and we're really happy with him, and I think he's inching himself closer and closer to first team possibilities.
And just finally, Jesse, you mentioned that you'd be disappointed if Thomas Tuchel was on the touchline on Sunday. I understand the red card business, but also how much of an advantage and how much influence you feel he has by being on the
Yeah, I mean, in
Nothing
theory,
else.
it's all in theory when the manager's not there, that it's an advantage. But I also know Chot Love quite well, their assistant, and he's a brilliant football mind, and I have no doubt that that he would be able to help out from there. Typically, I was probably tossed out of games too much in the MLS, and so we developed strategies on how to deal with that. And one of the strategies was seeing if the team could take more ownership. And that's a tenet of my leadership principles. But I don't know. Again, I've always assumed this has nothing to do with Thomas Tuchel or anyone else, but I've always assumed that when a manager gets a red card, that he's suspended for the next match.
Thank you.
Maybe that's the wrong assumption.
Hi Jesse.
Hi.
I just wondered how aware you are of the rivalry that exists between Leeds and Chelsea, going way back to like the
Yeah, I have been told about it. Even for someone like me, the '60s is a long time ago, which I guess I'm happy to say that. But this is the beauty of this club, is there's, you can meet someone in the streets who's 5 years old or 95 years old, and they've got Leeds United stories. So I think right in the moment, it's all about how good Chelsea is, and now us just managing one of the best opponents in the world.
Not many people are talking about them as title challengers. It's all Manchester City and Liverpool, isn't it? Are they, in your book, right up there and have a chance of winning it?
Yeah, I mean, we're only 2 years removed, or a year and 3 months removed from them winning Champions League. And I think that they've continued to add to their squad in a really good way. They have amazing players at every position. I was even presenting them to the team today on a few different things, and I said, yeah, this player's good, and then that player's good, and then he's good at this. I said, they're all good. So, but I love these games because of that. It's such a massive challenge, and the biggest thing is that our players understand the plan and that they can go out and go after the game. I think we have a team that can cause some havoc against an opponent like this right now. At home, I think we always enjoy playing in Elland Road. I think you can see that in the beginning stages that the team's coming together in a good way. We're trying to develop a good plan, and a plan that is easy enough for them to execute, and then we just want them to go on the pitch and play to their abilities. And if we do that as a group, we have a chance. I think we definitely have a chance.
Just a word about Rodrigo. Among the goals this season, I sensed last year that some of the fans were getting on his back a bit. Has he gone away at the summer and sort of thought about that and reassessed?
I think he's always very fit, but he's come in really fit and very determined from preseason. He's taken a lot of the things that he and we have talked about in terms of the principles that we're trying to institute every day, and applied them more and more at a higher and higher level. He's had an outstanding preseason. I think he had a goal against Palace, 3 goals against Cagliari, and then the 3 goals now in the first 2 matches. So it's not random. I think it's a culmination of him adapting to the league, to me, to what we're trying to achieve, and then the confidence has grown in him massively. And I was saying to him today that of our entire leadership council now, he's one of the guys that we know will be starting. He will wear the captain's band. He'll be ready to take penalties. He'll be ready to be a leader on the pitch, and he'll be ready to execute the match plan and play at the highest level of his quality. And I think it says a lot about him and how he's adapted and how he's rose to the challenge in difficult moments. So really happy with him, really happy for him, and certainly he'll be important for us on Sunday.
Hi Jesse. Can I just ask you about the situation at left back, please? Like in terms of how you're assessing that at the moment, how you think Pascal's doing, and is that still something that looking to potentially strengthen it?
I think Pascal's doing great. I think Junior's ready, and he's looked really strong even in rehab training. I think Leo played really well. Leo Helger played really well in the 21s game, and so currently I feel strong in that position. So maybe at the beginning or when Junior got hurt and we weren't sure, but we wanted to look a little at Leif Davis, we wanted to look a little at Pascal, we wanted to look a little at Leo, and right now I feel like we've covered that position really well. And I just had, right before this, I had a video session with Pascal, and for me he's getting better and better every match and getting more and more comfortable there. So I think that yeah, we feel good now.
And with the striker situation, is that a bit harder to answer again because of like the form Rodrigo's in? Obviously, you've got Joffrey waiting to come in. And in terms of like, do you need a Premier League ready striker now? Is it hard to weigh up then because of that? Or
Well, I still feel to balance it out our squad effectively, it would be helpful. But we need the right guy. And I don't want to bring in somebody that's going to take 3 months to adapt and educate and then not be ready to help us. So there's the variables in terms of how prepared are they do they understand the type of football we want to play? Do they understand the league? Can they play with this kind of quality at this kind of level? Can they run at the level and press at the level and also then be ready to play and be intelligent enough to execute our match plans for what we need? Those are the factors. So it's not just, we need a striker and pick him out of the sky. It's who is that guy that can meet the standards and the balance of what we needed within the squad.
That's Jesse Marsch.
Yep.
Hey Jesse, what have you made of Rasmus's starts this season? What sort of feedback are you giving him from those first couple of games? And do you think Cody's a realistic guy to put some pressure on him?
Yeah, well, I think, and first let's start with Rasmus. First of all, I know Rasmus really well. I know the quality he has, and I also knew that adapting to the league was going to be a challenge for him. So I think he's done well. And then I think he knows that there's a lot to be learned and that it's a level up. And one of the things I said to him was, listen, the reason you came here was to get out of your comfort zone and to challenge yourself and to believe that you can adapt and grow and get better from this situation. And he knows that, right? And we went through this even a little bit at Salzburg, and then for me, after 2 years, he was, this last year in Salzburg, he was probably their best player, their most impactful player. He said to me, I feel like I was making 10, 15, 20 impactful moments per match at Salzburg, Champions League, in the league, whatever. And here it's hard for me to make 1 or 2 or 3. I said, the level is big. And he agrees. He thinks even the opponents we've had that the level's been above Champions League in the demands, which says a lot about the league. We try to, even when we're recruiting, say, okay, you can go to a Champions League club or you can play Champions League every week. And that's what this league is. And I talked to him even about my adaptation and the challenges that I have to accept and my mistakes and my successes and why I'm here. And so, this is about all of us really rising to the challenge and learning from everything we do and adapting and getting better, and that's the project. So I want players to embrace those challenges, and I know he will, and I know he'll grow from it every day. Cody, for me, has been fantastic. I spoke with him after the training today, and I said he's a guy that if we need, I know that we can count on him. I think he's trained really well. He's performed really well in preseason matches. He's fit and ready to go. So I thought he played well in the 21s match. Happy with him. So, and then Luke will be back as well soon. So we'll have a good complement of players at that position.
When you look at Chelsea's backline, how do you think you're going to sort of pick that lock, as it were? Do you think Joffrey is a better bet? Do you think Rodrigo might be a better bet as the 9? How do you think their strengths will pick Chelsea?
Well, one of the things will be fitness. Not just being healthy, but being fully fit to meet the demands of what this game will be, because it'll be played at a fast pace. Chelsea plays with such tempo with the ball that they can unbalance you in many different ways. And then, they for me, their back line now with Koulibaly, for me is and Cucurella is a player that I think is absolutely fantastic. So intelligence, experience, quality, athleticism, what a formidable defense, and then a great goalkeeper behind them. And it was, it's not random that they when Tuchel first came, they gave up almost no goals, and even last year. So, we will make it difficult on them. We will try to press them in the right moments. We're not going to just sit back and take pressure. We're going to be aggressive with the ball. We want to be brave. We want to challenge them. And then they're also incredibly good on set pieces. And we saw this with Koulibaly. He's a beast. So, big challenge for us, and one that we're truly excited about. Truly excited.
Stuart?
Jesse, we know you're interested in your history. I just wonder how important or irrelevant do you think it is that players know the history of this football club when they come?
Yeah, I think it's massively important because playing in front of these fans, you have to know the identity of the club, what Elland Road is, what it means, what the identity of Yorkshire and the type of people here, what's important to them, what they want to see on match day, which of course they want to see a quality football team, but they want to see 11 fighters on the pitch at all moments. And I've said this before, it's why I think I fit here, because this is the way I'm built, is to never back down and be ready for every challenge. And so we have a team that I think has shown that already, and I think already that the fans are embracing, and will continue to grow in that way. So, yeah.
Because, I mean, some of your predecessors, Howard Wilkinson was a famous example, sort of tried to take down all the pictures of the past because he felt it was a burden. You seem to think it's a good thing. And
I love it. I love being at a club. Like, maybe if you have an English perspective, maybe you're so used to storied pasts of clubs, but you know, now the league is so multicultural, I think embracing the identity of the club is one of the most important things, no matter where you go, because I think you have to understand the fans, the history, the ex-players, you know, the expectations for what it means. And each club has its own identity, and no doubt we do. So I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
I wonder what you've made of Pulisic at Chelsea. I remember you saying a couple of years ago that you weren't sure how many people really appreciated his tactical side, how technical and tactical he was as a player. But it hasn't really worked out from there. I wonder what you've made of it.
Yeah, Christian, I think, is a big talent. He's the biggest in our country. The expectations for someone like him, transfer fees, clubs he's been at, are very high. And I think he's met a lot of those high expectations, but I think with his talent that people are continuing to demand more from him, and it's normal in some ways. I've never had the chance to work with him. I've only competed against him. He's scored, I think, every time I've coached against him, he's freaking scored. So I don't have too many negative criticisms about him, but I would enjoy, the chance to work with him at some point, whether it's with the national team in the distant future or whatever. But I think he's a big talent. I like his personality, and I think he scored in Champions League final. He's created a lot of firsts for American players. So I think our respect for him is very high in our country.
On Rodrigo, if he is captain at the weekend, how big a deal will that be for him mentally?
Yeah, it's awesome
to know that he's valued like that.
He took the captain's ban when Patrick came off and scored 2 goals, and I think carried the team and worked his butt off to try to finish the game off. There was no question in my mind that I was leaving him on the pitch because he was playing fantastic. And, I think he's embraced that responsibility. So, obviously the goals always, an attacking player, you need goals. You need goals to give you confidence. It boosts you in a lot of ways. But I think he's just in good form. He's clear with what we're trying to accomplish. And again, I think there's even a lot more room for improvement. So we're going to keep pushing him.
Thank you.
Jesse, you mentioned the importance of history. Have the players been unofficially or officially given any sort of history lesson about this fixture? It's a particularly interesting one.
No, I don't think so. We had, like, when Andreas spoke to the team, he gave a video with a lot of the history of the club. Before a lot of them come and they're being recruited, Victor has incredible scenes from the past and talks about trophies and the identity. This is the main thing. It's one thing to talk about the history of the club for me, and another to talk about the identity. But the history means something to the identity, right? They're not separate. For me, that's what's so much more important, that we understand exactly what our fans demand, and that we represent that. So. Again, I think it just focusing on this moment, Chelsea is an incredible club, one of the richest in the world, one of the best teams in the world, with an incredible coach who hopefully won't be on the bench. All right, and that's entirely our focus right now.
And also, you just touching on that, if you've got a manager who's raging on the touchline, is it still possible having been there yourself,
Yeah.
it's still possible to think clearly and rationally and deliver what you're meant to deliver.
I mean, I don't think Tuchel is raging on the bench, but I think there are sometimes managers that you are that are the opponents on the day that you know are going to be active with referees or active with certain, and you have to sometimes have a strategy that you have to match that energy and combat it. But I don't think, my experience after however many games now, what is it, 14 matches is, most of the managers in this league are focused clearly on getting the most out of their teams on that day. And that in itself is the challenge of this league. So, yeah.
It sort of seems counterintuitive, that's all, but you still can keep that clarity, can you?
Well, I mean, for me, listen, you're in this business a long time, and you know there's times for emotion and there's time for concentration, and how you can flip the switch immediately so that you need whatever you need at the right moment. Is, even for me, emotion sometimes is calculated. Like I say, if I don't feel like the refs are responding to the things I'm asking, then I don't have another solution other than to elevate my energy, emotion, whatever, and that you have to try and now make a statement in that way. It's why I'm not afraid to take yellows sometimes on the bench. It's not just that I'm emotional or upset, it's that's also the strategy that you have to employ sometimes. So, yeah.
Mark?
Jesse.
Hi.
Did you get a reply, by the way, from Bruno?
Not yet, but I sent it to him recently, and I know he's busy.
Okay, we're going to move on to the Sunday section. If you can let your cameras know.